Okay. Rebuttal time? Is it rebuttal time?
Next question.
Got it. All right. Next question will come from... Next question will come from Nick Schween.
What are your thoughts and what is your stance on the proposed coal-fired power plant to be located in Holcomb, Kansas?
This will go to Representative Davis first.
You know, when this issue came before the legislature a number of years ago, I represented my district on this issue. My district had strong feelings about it, and I didn't support the plant. But the fact of the matter is, the permit has been issued, and this issue is out of the hands of elected officials at this time. There's nothing that Governor Brownback or I can do more. But what we do need to do is to continue to grow the energy sector of our economy. And the way that we can do that is to support the wind industry and to show the wind industry that we are open for business. And if we're going to do that, we've got to have a governor that will stand up for our renewable portfolio standard. Governor Brownback said a few weeks ago he would phase it out. Then he said a few hours later, oh, no, I didn't really mean that. And then a couple days ago he said, oh, I think I'll phase it out. We need some certainty. The wind industry needs certainty. They need a governor who's going to stand behind them because this is critical to the future of our economy.
All right, Governor. Those were your people, so.
Well,
I like the guy with the bongos, by the way.
I support the coal-fired power plant out of Holcomb, the clean coal plant. I supported the proposal that it went together with, which was an RPS and a coal-fired power plant proposal that came together in front of the legislature. That was the deal that was brokered, and my opponent was so extreme, so liberal, so much the Nancy Pelosi of Kansas, he voted against what Mark Hutchinson put forward as a proven deal to get both of these forward, the RPS and the coal-fired power plant. And by the way, I've supported the renewable portfolio, the tax credits federally. I've supported those, and that's what's doubled wind energy in this state. I will stand second to nobody on support for wind. It's doubled in this state while I have been governor. It's a great resource that we have. My dad was raised on a farm using wind energy. We can do it moving forward, and we will.
Governor, this is a lot of good rhetoric on wind, but the other day you said that you would support a phase-out. That is going to hurt the economy of Kansas. You know, just down the road here, Siemens, 400 great jobs, and I want more of them. Will you commit, as I will, to veto a repeal of the renewable portfolio standard?
All right. Next question will come from Michael Schwanke, KWCH-TV in Wichita. Did I get it right, Michael?
You got it right.
Good.
All right, I do have one more question specific to a candidate. This one goes to Governor Brownback, correct?
Yes.
Governor Brownback, I feel we have to address this issue because it's so recent. In recent weeks, you appointed a Kansas Supreme Court justice who had less than a year of experience on the bench and who worked for your administration. Can you answer your critics, including your opponent, who says instead of choosing a judge with more than 20 years on the bench, you chose a political ally?
Absolutely, I'll be happy to answer that question. Caleb Siegel is the most qualified, talented person on the If you let me say what he is, he graduated third in his class at KU. He clerked for a circuit court judge, Danelle Taha, one of the most respected jurists in the state of Kansas. He worked for the largest law firm in the state of Kansas. He was an elected prosecutor in Jefferson County. He's been a prosecutor there. He's had a great private practice. He was general counsel for me, and he was on the Court of Appeals. There is nobody that even applied that's close to his qualifications. Nobody that's close to his qualifications. This is an incredible. One of the people on the panel called him a legal prodigy, saying this guy is an amazing, qualified candidate. And he is. He could end up up in the Court of Appeals, on up to the Federal Court of Appeals, or further in the future. He is an amazingly qualified, brilliant man.
The governor had a choice between three people. One had 24 years experience as a judge. The other had 23 years experience as a judge, a woman, and Mr. Siegel, who had less than 1 year. I think it's pretty clear that he didn't choose experience here. And that's consistent with what he wants to do the judicial selection process. He wants to take away the transparency. He wants the governor to have more power so we can inject more politics into our judicial selection process. We have a process that has served this state very well, and we need to keep that process.
Paul Davis is a liberal. And there's another thing. The U.S. Supreme Court just overturned a Kansas Supreme Court decision 9-0 on a death penalty case. 9-0. The U.S. Supreme Court overturning the Kansas Supreme Court. I put a former prosecutor on the Kansas Supreme Court. He's not going to vote for an opinion that gets overturned 9-0 by the U.S. Supreme Court on the death penalty case. That's an important thing to have, is somebody with some breadth of experience and that prosecutorial experience.
Next question will come from Alex Dingman, WIBW Radio News staff, and it will be directed initially to Representative Davis.
A lot of news this year that the VA systems here in the nation are broken. Do you feel this is true for Kansas veterans? Is the system working, or are they getting the treatment that they require and deserve?
Well, I have a little bit of special perspective because my wife is a psychologist and she spent her entire career helping homeless veterans. And there are some serious problems in the VA system. And you don't want to get her started on it because boy will she give you an earful about it. But you know, there are a lot of things that we can do, our Kansas hospitals and healthcare providers, to help veterans across the state. Many veterans are located in places where they don't have access to a VA, and I think that we ought to be able to create a system whereby they can get access to healthcare, VA, government-sponsored healthcare that they have entitled to, they are deserved, and they've sacrificed for at hospitals all around Kansas. And I'd like to work with the federal government to make that possible, to do something very good for veterans.
We need to do a lot better by our veterans, and I think they're being let down by the VA. I've said that then, I say it now. Unfortunately, what you're seeing in the VA system is a system where people have to queue up and you've got to wait because there's not enough care available. And they're making people do that. We need to add more resources into the VA system. We need to take care of our veterans better. But this is also a cautionary tale. This is what you will get under Obamacare. You're going to be denied any care. What they're going to say is you've got to wait to get care. You want to get a knee replaced? Fine, get in line. That's the problem, and that's been the problem with the VA system, is they're making people queue up and wait. And that's not what we should do to our veterans. It's certainly not what we should do to health care for all Americans. And unfortunately, my opponent supports Obamacare and its expansion and implementation, which this administration isn't even implementing Obamacare because it doesn't work.
Now, I can understand why someone who spent 16 years is fixated on Washington, D.C. You know, there's only one candidate on this stage that has an open presidential campaign committee, and I can assure you that it is not me. And Governor, if you want to make this election about who it is that I supported for president, you might take a look at your last election for president. He's under indictment right now in Texas.
before we get to our next question, and by the way, thanks to both of you for keeping this lively. Before we get to our next question, are your running mates here?
Yes.
All right, Governor Brownback, Jeff Collier, where are you?
Dr. Jeff
Right
Collier.
here. And Representative Davis, Joe Docking.
Bill Docking.
And I might also add their families are here today. Just, if you don't mind, just standing up.
There you
We
go.
can see. There we go. Excellent. All right, we've got time for maybe 2 more questions here. Let's go to Nick Schween, Managing Editor, Hayes Daily News.
Thank you. Many people in western Kansas believe those in the highest power in Topeka have little regard for those in their region of the state. What are your plans to ease the minds of western Kansas to let them know the highest ranking official in the state deems them just as worthy as those in the eastern portion of the state?
All right, Governor.
Well, I'm going to do what I've been doing, and that's be there a lot. I've been in all 105 counties as governor. I've been in all 105 counties many times. I don't know if my opponent has been in all 105 counties at all. I love the rural parts of this state, and I go there often and I work on their issues. I work on issues like water. I work on issues like preserving our schools. I work on issues like environment and education and on things to be able to grow the economy. And I'm going to involve a number of them in our administration. The head of KDHE was a rural doctor in Tribune, Kansas. You can't get much better than that or further west than that. Or Pat George out of Dodge City is the head of the Secretary of Commerce and does a fabulous job and understands the heart and soul. And by the way, my running mate grew up in Hayes, America, and there's only one of those. So we're going to involve people in our administration that are from all parts of the state and from the rural parts of the state to bring in that attitude. And our rural opportunity zones has been a great opportunity for rural areas. Zero income taxes if you move into one of these counties and helping with $15,000 on student loans through our rural opportunity zones that our administration started.
All right.
We are a rural state, and this fair is a great celebration of rural Kansas. And when I spend time in rural Kansas, I've got some great supporters, folks like Fred Kerr in Pratt, Steve Morris, former Republican members of the legislature that are supporting my candidacy for governor. We can offer all the incentives that we want, and some of them are very, very important. And Governor, I've supported your rural opportunity zone. But folks are not going to continue to live in rural Kansas if we don't have great public schools. And that's why we've got to restore the cuts to our public schools. You know, earlier, Governor, you mentioned consolidation. Your school finance plan would have been a disaster for rural Kansas. The superintendent of schools right here in Hutchinson said this was a worst-case scenario for his school district. That's one of the reasons it didn't go anywhere in the legislature. I will be a governor that will stand up for rural schools. No forced consolidation.
Paul Davis is Democrat leader in the House. There are now no elected Democrats in the State House west of 81 Highway. It got so liberal that Jan Paul's the state rep from here, Democrat switched parties, become a Republican. And people are important. So Tyler Longtime worked for Paul Davis, longtime person worked for him, and he wrote this: there are no two Kansas communities less interested in one another than Douglas County and western Kansas. It's important who you have around you and how they associate with what they say.
All right. We have time for one more question, and as moderator, there will be no rebuttal time on this question, and we're going to limit your response to 45 seconds so we can get the closing statements in. The next question comes from Michael Schwanke, KWCH-TV.
Wichita voters will decide in November on a 1-cent sales tax, of which part of it will go to create a jobs fund. Do you support the use of taxpayer money for job creation?
No, I'm going to let the citizens of Wichita make that determination. I believe in local control. I will tell you this. The folks in Wichita know that their economy has been lagging, and they're trying very hard to do something about it. And I want to work with them as governor to help grow the economy in Wichita. It's some of the highest unemployment in the state there, and we need a governor who is going to roll up his sleeves, be a partner with communities, and use proven solutions to grow our economy, and that's what I'll do.
I agree with Representative Davis. I think that's a local decision for them. At the state level, we will and we do use state monies to be able to recruit businesses in. That's how we got Mars in the state of Kansas. It's a sweet deal. Glad we got him here. It's also, by us creating a better tax environment in Kansas, we are growing private sector jobs on the Kansas side of Kansas City 3 times faster than on the Missouri side. Because we got our taxes down. And that's a critical thing for growth. We can make Kansas City a Kansas City. With the more private sector jobs there, we have a better environment on our side, a great education system, a better tax system, good highways, and that's what we're going to continue to do in my administration.
All right, we're going to go to closing statements now, and as agreed to prior to the debate, Governor Brownback will have his closing statement first.
Kelly, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for making this entertaining. And it certainly has been that. I love coming to the Hutchinson State Fair. It's one of those great Kansas get-togethers. I love seeing all the people and the products of the land and what this state is about. And the good-hearted people of Kansas are fabulous. There are none better anywhere in the world. These are the best people anywhere. I'll stand up and fight for you every day, and I love this job being able to do that. Now, Jeff Collier and I want 2 things. We want to make this state the best place in America to raise a family and grow a small business. And we're